was asked to talk about fitness for the youth of today, the first thing I did was get together research information, WHO studies about the impact of obesity and lack of fitness that is very evident in our lives. And then I realized I don't think the youth of today are interested in statistics. But I suspect that you already know all of that. So I decided, let's talk about automobiles and the mobile phones. So let's take the Ferrari and the iPhone. Why do we admire it so much? Beautiful, isn't it? But I don't think we buy these things just for their looks. I think it's more about how they perform, don't you think? And then after buying it, we go through great lengths to see that they are maintained properly. We buy insurance, we buy extra accessories, memory card, scratch guard, we have a maintenance contract for the car. Let's take the human body, the phenomenal human body. How much do you think it should cost? Remember, we have only one body. We take it with us everywhere, 24/7. We have no spare parts. We expect it to last us our entire life of 70, 80 years if you're lucky. How much do you think we should price it at? Priceless, don't you think? And yet, we are more keen on looking after our material and worldly goods than we are of this human body. And why do you think that is? I think it's because of this preoccupation we have with how much we weigh and what we look like, as opposed to how much we can do. So who says that you have to be a certain size to look fit or to look good? Who says that you have to wear a certain size to look good? And what is the point of just looking good if you can't be fit or if your body is not fit? Now, don't get me wrong. What I'm trying to say is, I'm not trying to say that looking good is not important. It is in this highly visually stimulated world. But what I'm trying to say is that fitness does just that. It improves the way you look from the inside. It improves the quality of your body, the quantity of your muscles, besides which it improves your mood. It improves the way you perform, the way you study, the way you work. It improves every aspect of your life. So let's take a look at these two. I had actually changed that to Mary Com, but let's look at Sania Mirza and this wafer-thin model from the Paris catwalk. Who do you think looks healthier? Sania is by no stretch of imagination thin or slim. But I think here we are more interested in how they perform and not so much how they look. Or what about this skinny Calvin Klein model? Would you rather be him or have a body that is much more functional, which is able to perform better because you have included fitness in your life? So now I'd like a show of hands here. How many of you know how much you weigh? Brilliant. Okay, how many of you know your resting heart rate? Not bad. How many of you can tell me how long it takes for you to run a mile? And how many of you know how much weight and not, I'm sorry, how many of you can do 10 good push-ups? Only the boys? So why is it that you all, everyone, put up their hand when I asked how many of you know how much you weigh? And yet you don't know how your body performs. Again, it's this preoccupation with how we look and this obsession that we have for the scale. So this is what happens when we have a preoccupation with weight and with how we look. It can lead to some very dangerous diseases like anorexia and bulimia, where you can starve yourself half to death with these diseases, or you can have this very interesting disorder called body dysmorphic disorder, where the person exercises obsessively in an attempt to look better. Now, the problem with these diseases is that however much the anorexic starves herself, she's never thin enough. However much the person with BDD or body dysmorphic disorder exercises, he's never good enough. So this is really not a disease of the body, it's a disease of the mind, and it's an extremely serious condition that needs to be treated. So let's see how we address this problem of our obsession with the scale. We need to change focus from weight on the scale to actually taking action. And how do we do this? We need to look at fitness as two parts. There are two aspects to it: food and exercise. Taking food, understanding your food. We need to understand that food, we need to understand food from a much deeper level than what we do. Now, can you give me 5 examples of protein-rich foods, vegetarian and non-vegetarian? Can all of you give me 5 examples? Okay. 5? Can you tell me, or can everyone in this audience, do they know 5 examples? Just put up your hands. Do you all know 5 examples? Can you give me the names of 3 diets that have been popular in the last couple of years? Everybody knows that. Everybody knows the famous diets: low fat, high carb, low carb, Atkins, paleo, you name it, there are hundreds of them. So you're well aware of that. But you can't give me examples of protein-rich foods. Not all of you can. So what I'm trying to say is that you need to understand food from a deeper level, not just what kind of food to eat. Don't expect other people to tell you what to eat and what not to eat, what to exclude from your diet, and to eat only bananas and milk all day, or not eat rice. And the most common question I get asked is this food fattening? Of course it is. Any food is fattening if you eat enough of it. So you need to be able to make the choice of what you can and should not be eating, or what you should need to be avoiding in order to stay fit. Where as young people, especially in our country, we are quite happy to have mom cook for us. And then, so we have no interest in cooking, we have no interest in grocery shopping or understanding food. And then we leave home, we go away and hire an apartment. We are too busy to cook or go shopping. So what do? We order in. So right there you're at the mercy of some cook in some remote kitchen who has no concern about your health. Or you're eating from your office canteen. And the cook there, his only intention is to churn out lots of food which is palatable. So what does he do? More salt, more sugar, more oil. So you're at the mercy of these people. If you want to take things into your own hands, you will have to understand that you have to know food from a slightly deeper level. I don't mean you need a degree in home science or nutrition. You just need to understand that there are food groups, and you need to include all the food groups into your diet. Moving on to fitness, just like with food, where there are different food groups, your carbohydrates, your proteins, and your vegetables and fruits, there are different aspects to fitness, what I call the 4 pillars of fitness: stamina, strength, endurance, and flexibility. So to improve your stamina, you need to do things like running, walking, anything that increases your heart rate. To increase your strength, anything using your own body weight, like push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and so on, or external body weights, which is also allowed even for the younger people under supervision. Flexibility is improved with yoga and simple stretches. Most often when I ask exercise history, they say, yes, of course I exercise, I go for a walk, or I do yoga. Now that's only addressing one aspect of your fitness. It's like saying eat only bananas. So you need to include all the pillars of fitness in order to be in a fitter state. So here's what can happen if you don't include regular exercise and healthy eating in your food: obesity. And along with obesity, you have diabetes, hypertension, breathlessness. Something as simple as walking up the stairs can cause severe breathlessness. I put these up for shock value. So this is a non-healing diabetic ulcer, and you have knee replacement because your knees can't withstand the weight of your body and the abuse that it's being subjected to. So we really need to love and respect our bodies, and that's where we need to start from. I work with young people who sometimes have terrible relationships with their bodies. I have young girls telling me that I hate my thighs, or I'm so fat, or I want straight hair just like her. I had a young teenage boy come and asked me, can I look like Amir Khan in Ghajini? Please note, he was very specific which avatar of Amir Khan's he wanted to look like. The point is, you can't look like somebody else. You have to look like the best version of yourself. And you can do that if you include fitness, exercise, and diet into your life. You're all young, and you have your entire future ahead of you. You can change the course of that future and the quality of your life if you include fitness into your life right now. You can be more productive, you can work better, you can look better, and you can also have a much better quality life. Let me quote one of my all-time favorite musicians. Bob Marley once said, "Love the life you live and live the life you love." So you have a dream of living this extraordinary life, doing wonderful things with it, with all the ideas that have come up today. But what's the point of having a dream if you don't have the body and the mind to see it through? What's the point of having a wonderful job, wearing the most beautiful clothes, living in a fabulous house, if ill health impairs your lifestyle? What's the point of doing wonderful things if you can't enjoy the journey? No point, is there? So, I am a health caregiver. I treat those very diseases that I talked about. And most of them are lifestyle related because of the choices that we make, because of the choice not to exercise. Don't tell me you don't have time, because I know you have time for Facebook. I know you have time for Angry Bird or whatever other games that you play. So you do have the time. You actually make the time to exercise. As for me, I included exercise into my practice and included in all my prescriptions to prevent those very diseases that I treat. Not a very smart business strategy, I know, but I truly believe that that is the one way we can improve the quality of lives of the people around us. I'd like to encourage you to change your objectives. Change your objectives from just looking good and how much you weigh on the scale to objectives of actually improving the quality of your life. So your objective should be to improve the capacity of your body to work. Your objective should not be to look like somebody else or to wear a certain size. Your objective should be to challenge your body to work harder. Your objective should be to love the body that you have, not the body that you want or imagine. Your objective should be to be the best version of yourself that you possibly can. Thank you.